Awesome. Hello, everyone, again. 7th of March, week 7 of this training program that I have taken off my new best friend, Gemini. And I'm very grateful for this experience of learning to use this amazing new tool that we have available to us. As with the whole aspect of mastering the art of response to people with their objections, we should show no fear of anything at all at any time. So, which is one of the how interesting life can be, because we do tend to get a little bit overcome with some of these new tools that are being given to us. But on a more serious note today, as we move through this process of learning the skills and becoming professional, and I love that word professional when it comes to this world of network marketing. One of the biggest things we have to overcome is master the art of handling objections with confidence, turning no into not yet. Now, I'm going to put another disclaimer in here. I have done this very quickly, and I haven't edited it much at all, but I look forward to your response as we go along. So we've all, any one of us who have ever tried or attempted to do this particular type of business, know that within a very short time, we come up with incredible objections. So the first thing to think about would be, how do we turn this whole world of the way people think and in a sense attack us, to see an objection isn't a rejection. It's a request for more information. We don't know this when we start. And if we are feeling insecure, as I was when I started my network marketing near-life business, it can be the most terrible, terrible feeling when people reject what you are offering them. One of my favorite anecdotes was very good friends who'd bought some product, and it wasn't a case of that the product wasn't working. They didn't know how to tell me that they felt it was too expensive. And my friend said to me, "This doesn't work." And it was terrible. I just felt like I had sold them something that was wasting their money, and I didn't, if you know what I'm talking about, you all know it. So the goal is to move from a salesperson to a problem solver. I love that, because people often see what we do as selling, but we're solving problems. And the key insight that we are given is, if they didn't care, they wouldn't argue. Silence is much harder to work with an objection. And I hadn't thought of it in that way for a long time. And I think that is something we can all think about today, that if we activate the positive, if they didn't care, they wouldn't argue. So we are given a feel, felt, found technique. And for those of us who are been around a bit longer, we will immediately recognize this technique that we are being taught. And we need to learn it, because it makes the whole process of dealing with objections so much easier. So the first thing you would say to the person is that you would validate their emotion. I understand how you feel. Now, we know that this is actually a little bit corny for some people, but you will find your own way through if you can find a way to validate. Show them that they aren't alone. Others have felt the same way. And I have done this often. And it also just gives me, the moment I start going into this kind of 3-step thinking, time to start thinking of other ways to get my emotion under control, and to be able to respond maturely without getting too flustered or anything else like that. So there's a whole lot of emotional stuff going on as this is happening. And then your third step is you share the solution or result, what they found was. So what I have found, so we'll go through some of these scripts as once we've been through the basic method. So this builds an immediate bridge of empathy between you and your prospect. Yeah, people want to feel understood. They don't want to feel attacked. These are four of the main objections that we will come across, and you can fill us in with some more as we go along. Too expensive. Time, always a big one for people, not a good time. Don't need this now. And they could say it in a more sarcastic tone. I don't need this now. No, I don't need it now. There are all sorts of different ways that people can say these things. And then often we have people who are, especially with shakes, they're working with Herbalife, washing powder. Oh, I've been using Amway for years, etc., etc. Very, very common in our world. So the common objection, it's too expensive. Now, the reality is, and I want you, all of us here, to just cast our minds around with the world, what we would do for ourselves and what we see with people. People don't buy on price, they buy on value. Now, there's a certain, that's not altogether 100% true. Yes, a lot of people buy on price. But if we're going to try to overcome the objection with the person when they say it's too expensive, we need to then think about ways to break down the cost for them. So, yes, obviously, the marketing technique that's being used out there in the supermarket, buy two, get one. And when you actually work out the price, sometimes it's better just not to buy any at all, whatever, but just buy one. But it's a methodology that marketers use to persuade people to buy on price. And we are all, in the world that I'm in, people who are very price conscious. And we're all struggling in our own way to deal with the price increases, the oil, the war going on, da 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 da. So we are always concerned about how much things cost. But the whole thing of buying on value, and this is where I want you to, you don't need to say it to the person, but you need to think about it in your own world. If you could afford it, would you buy something that was a bit more, had more value to it? Right, so the breakdown to the costs, just before this meeting started, I went on and Googled. So I've learned now this week that Google is the place where we go still to find out answers like the following one, and not AI. So I think Google still got a bit of life ahead of us in the world that we're living in. But I'm reading off my Google on my phone right now. Based on early 2026 data, the average price of a takeaway coffee in Johannesburg is approximately, hold on to your seats, 45 to 55 Rand for a standard high-quality cafe cappuccino or latte. While prices vary based on the chain location, for example, in Johannesburg, Sandton is the most expensive area. The drink size coffee in Johannesburg is considered a premium, and many popular cafes charge around 50 for a standard cappuccino. So budget fast food, Wimpy, notice Wimpy and McCafe are charging 25 to 35 Rand for a budget fast coffee. The standard coffee change, for example, Vida E-Cafe, Seattle Coffee, 35 to 50 Rand. And then your premium, going up into the specialities like Starbucks, etc., are 50 to 75 Rand. And then there's more breakdowns on different areas. Well, I have to give you the good news just for each one of us here. And if you want to share this when you are dealing with this objection, in the Pro Vitality is 1,000 and something Rand for a full box at full price. And at full price, when you divide that 1,000 plus minus whatever it is by 30, the price of a retail sachet of Pro Vitality is 34 Rand 60. And it's quite a shocker when you realize that, how the value that you are getting from one sachet of Pro Vitality compared to a coffee in Johannesburg, it's no-brainer. So your talking point there is compare the cost of a Neolife shake supplement to a daily cup of coffee or a fast food meal, highlight the long-term savings on health. And that's what we need to really emphasize to people, that at the end of the day, it is about their health. I don't know what this black thing's irritating me, but it's okay. We'll keep going. Number 5, I need to talk to my spouse, my husband or my wife. The strategy is don't push, partner with them. And it's so good when people say this. So you would reply, I completely respect that. Would it be helpful if I gave you some materials to show them, or should we all jump on a quick 5-minute call together? The importance of the spouse is because often we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And it's very important that if they're going to do this, if one person wants to do the business, the partner should know. They become the sleeping partner, literally and figuratively, and will often, at the end of the day, come on board as well. So it gives you also the opportunity to do the presentation to the couple. Prevent the prospect from trying and failing to explain the technical details themselves to their partner. So that's a very important one. Then we have the here, pause, answer method. Here is listen to the full objection without interrupting. Monica, that's my weak area. I'm very bad at that, but I can improve, and I am improving all the time. Listen to the words you speak, Monica. Don't say that you're bad at something. Say you are improving at it. And then you take 2 seconds to show you are actually thinking about what they said. Keep it brief and return to the benefits. Confirm, ask, does that make sense, or does that address your concern? So here, pause, answer. Listen to the full objection without interrupting. Take 2 seconds to show that you are actually thinking about what they said. Keep it brief and return to the benefits. I just put in a little couple of pictures to just keep us reminding some of the very common ones we get. The 7th one is closing with a question. What's the 7th slide? Never leave an objection hanging. Always follow up with a closing question. For example, other than timing, is there anything else holding you back from starting your energy journey today? Love that. Let's not use the word business. Maybe people are anxious about the word business. So think about your energy journey. Are there any other suggestions you might want to give in the chat below? Now, they then offered me on Gemini a near-life script cheat sheet, which we can send out to you from objection to opportunity. So we've got number 1, the price objection prospect. These products are more expensive than the ones at the local pharmacy. The script, I completely understand. I felt the same way. You were going through into the feel method until I looked at the cost per serving. Most store brands use synthetic fillers that your body can't absorb. With Neolife, you're getting whole food nutrition that actually reaches the cellular level. Would you rather spend $30 on something that doesn't work, or $50 on something that changes how you feel? Change the money to rands. Focus on bioavailability versus retail price. So you change the thinking and the fear that the person is reflecting. The time objection, I'm just too busy to start a business or a new health routine. The script, I hear you. Life is, and we all know this is true, incredibly hectic right now. That's actually why many people join Neolife. That's why we join, to get their energy back so they can handle that business schedule or that work commitment or the baby not sleeping or whatever it is. As for the business, most of our successful members started with just 3 to 5 hours a week. If I could show you how to fit this into the nooks and crannies of your day, would you be open to trying it? Focus on energy and efficiency. Here comes our favorite one, the pyramid scheme. Is this an MLM objection? Is this one of those pyramid schemes? I'd love to hear actually from all of you what some of your answers to these are. I'm glad you asked. Pyramid schemes are actually illegal and involve no real products. Neolife has been around since 58, based on clinically proven nutrition. We use network marketing model because we'd rather pay everyday people for sharing the product than pay for TV commercials. Does that help clarify the difference? Focus on longevity since 1958 and the integrity of Neolife. This is another very common one. I need to do more research. I was one of these people myself, I have to be honest. I need to go online and read more about these ingredients, products, business, etc., etc. The script, I appreciate that you're diligent about what you put into your body. To save me some time, I can send you the report from our scientific advisory board. They are the pioneers in this field. While you look those over, what specifically are you looking to find? And then try and get the person to state exactly what it is they are hiding behind their objection. The key concept, pivot to the scientific advisory board authority and identify their specific concern. Oh, this is another favorite one. I'm not a salesperson. I could never do what you do. I'm not good at selling. The script is this. That's actually perfect because we don't sell, we share. Have you ever recommended a good movie or a restaurant to a friend? That's all this is. We share our results and the products sell themselves. We provide the training. You just provide the stories. Could you do that? Focus on recommendation versus hard selling. I will put a disclaimer in here. Yes, it is a type of selling, but it's not that kind of selling where we all know where people are being, and if people are doing it within our business, they need to be pulled up and said, no, please stop it. We don't want you force feeding us with anything. All right. So that they just gave a couple of little tips there. If you wanted to use those scripts, you could print them and share them out with your team members. Hello. Hi, Meryl. I wondered where you were. Glad to see you came to join us. Are there any comments? Please put them into the chat below, or else come straight on and tell us how you would particularly handle some of these objections. I just want to, while you're thinking about doing that with us, I just also went onto Gemini and asked, you know, what we've been told as well, by the way, if you start using AI, you should talk very politely to AI, and you're allowed to swear at it and tell it how useless it is if it doesn't give you the right answer, and be very, very, very mindful that it's a liar, it's sycophantic, it's going to tell you you're amazing, and it's all just nonsense, but it's useful. It's a tool. So if you didn't know that already, I will, yes, I mean, there is a recording. Rob's got it going at the moment. We'll send it out straight away. If I can just go back to Eric Warrer. I asked our Gemini friend to just remind me what Eric Warrer is saying. So this is what this little script, etc., on objections has come through pulling out of people like Eric Warrer, very much from him. And I just wanted to just mention the two things that came up out of from the Eric Warrer psychology, basically. Eric Warrer's "if I would you," so it comes from him, that formula is widely considered the magic phrase of network marketing. It is powerful because it is reciprocal. You are offering something of value, information, a tool, only if they are willing to take action. And so there are some scripts that they put in here dealing how he has divided up, which is all in our little presentation. But I'm just looking for the other bit I wanted to tell you that came up. Here it is. Big pardon. I was looking at the end of the answer from my new friend. So while there are dozens of specific excuses a prospect might give, there are only two types, according to Eric Warrer. And this is what I wanted to share with you. So once you get this into your heads, you become more conscious of how to cope with it. The first one is the prospect's limiting belief in themselves. In this category, the prospect doesn't doubt the company. They doubt their own ability to succeed. I don't have money. I don't have time. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know anyone. I'm not good at. And the second one is the prospect's limiting belief in network marketing. So there are two limiting beliefs. One is in themselves and one is in the concept. In this category of the network marketing, the prospect has a negative perception of the business model. Is this one of those things? Is this a pyramid scheme? I tried something like this before and it didn't work. Only the people at the top make money. And so the strategy which we've been through in the presentation this morning is to use feel, felt, found. Wara heavily emphasizes that you should never attack these objections. Instead, he teaches that you should relate to them as a peer. Relate. Tell them you are on their side. Tell a story, which we have already gone through in the last couple of weeks. Show your own story or someone else's story. And the if I were you formula. This is his famous closing hook, for example. If I could show you a way to start this business without a large upfront investment, would you be open to hearing more? Okay, so that's Monica done for today. We'll leave the recorder on because I've done all the talking again. Hermine, thank you for your comment. We will share. Björn, Susan, Mary, Mary, you don't have to speak. If any comments, Björn, let's hear from you. Thank you.
So I'm actually quite surprised, not surprised, interested at the one about, is this a pyramid scheme? I actually hadn't realized, and it's such an important thing to remember. I didn't actually realize that pyramid schemes don't have any products.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that is a huge difference
It is
between
the
what we do and
main.
anything.
Got it.
So, I mean, I think it's something that we should remember, because we do encounter people who accuse us of being a pyramid scheme every now and again. I admittedly and thankfully not as often as I used to encounter people, and I think where some when people see that I'm actually starting to do quite well at it, I don't see as much of the pyramid scheme accusation thing. Um, so yeah, very interesting.
Thank you, Björn.
Yeah.
If not, yes, Rob?
Yeah, for me, one of the things, I think even before I joined Neolife, um, they the people were reliant on selling tapes or whatever in those days to you in order to up your knowledge on the whole thing. Now, that's why in Neolife, all the training is given, and it's given freely. Okay, maybe if you go to a hotel, you're actually paying for the hire of the hall, but the training is given free. So I think that's also very important. Any sort of training, any IT training and so on, there is stuff out there that people do for free, and those people just enjoy doing that type of stuff. But yeah, if you want any decent training, you normally have to pay for it. So people who do give training, they are trying to invest in the future and share it with people because they have a belief in what they're doing, I think.
Thank you, Rob. Are there any responses? Susan, you're the newest person here today. Have you had much rejection so far?
Trying to contact the students. So yeah, it's a bit difficult. I don't have money, so I'll see. Well, I'll get known. I've contacted the nutrition department in Tigerberg. So I went there the other day. The lady wasn't there, but I'll go again and I'll hear how I can market it amongst the students at Tigerberg Nutritional Department.
Björn, thank you.
Susan, if I might just help you there, don't
Yes.
try too hard to get students interested. Just put the concept out there to them and keep on doing it. You'll find somebody one of the students, somebody else, or anybody in, who will actually either borrow the money from their parents or decide to save the money for themselves, you'll find someone. We must keep Neolife as an opportunity for somebody who wants it. We must never ever be seen to be begging people to join our business. It is imperative. Don't ever run after people all the time saying you can do this, you can do this, you can do that, you can make this, you can do that. This is a fantastic opportunity, and it's got to come that the will from the will has got to be with that person. So don't get too despondent if you're not finding right now that people are not seeing that value. Somebody will. We've just got to keep on doing that.
Okay.
Thank you, Bjorn. And that's a message for all of us to just keep on the persistence, and to focus on it as an opportunity. You know, there's that objection of how many people say, oh, you know, it's only the top ones who make the money, blah, blah, blah. It's the people who don't stop who make it in the end. Bjorn, we want you to do a talk.
Yeah, and I also think,
thanks, Emmy.
Susan, I've spent a couple of days in Stellenbosch in the past, and the one concept that I was quite shocked at when I first got there, they spoke about this concept of klein Saterdag. And that was a day that all the pubs would be full of students. So money's never the objective. And I think to Bjorn's point, though, it's really a case of do people understand what it entails to build a business? And you have to be disciplined.
Don't know how that fits with klein Saterdag.
Well, Rob, when I went to university, it cost me 3,500 rand a year. When Stellenbosch now costs 100,000 rand for accommodation and 100,000 rand a year to study, so 200,000 rand. I mean, that was about what 30 years ago. I
Yeah.
paid 3.5 a year. It's now 200,000 rand a year.
Yeah, but the
Exactly.
klein Saterdag,
The money changed.
but the klein
And we
Saterdag
did go
is,
to the pubs. We were very social also.
Yes, well, thank goodness we were social. Oh, you need the money for the social life. Absolutely. Oh dear. And in fact, but Susan, this is true. Now, I will tell you this, and because 3 years ago it was 150,000 for our son's entire university, and probably a little bit more than that actually, but for the fees and the res, and I paid for all of that out of Neolife. So you might also be looking for parents of students. So there's no end to who you can be talking to in terms of the opportunity.
Yes,
Bjorn, another comment? Yes, Susan? Sorry?
No, I'll start looking. I'll start looking for other networks also to get there.
Yes, you're going to do it. I can feel it in my waters. Bjorn, do you have another comment?
I don't.
No, we appreciate your comments. Thank you, Bjorn. Meryl, have you got anything to add today?
Not today, thank you. No.
Thank you. Hermin, we will put this up for you. And Susan, thank you for sharing with us as well. And Mary, wishing you all well in Maritzburg. And I think we're going to call this to an end now. And Bjorn, we'll talk about next Saturday in due course, you and I. But we've started the new month of March. The month end came to an end. On Monday night, there will be a very useful, I find that a really good training to go to from the head office, where they recognize achievers from the month of February and usually bring on people to give fantastic testimonials. So please try and remember to attend that on Monday. And then there will be the usual Thursday night with Rory and Nola and there's unfortunately I missed Drew this last Thursday, but there are recordings that I will, or things that have come through that I will share with you for you to follow up on. And just keep your focus, remember your why, and don't be put off by any objections. Just know why you're doing this, and you will make your way through it. Thank you, Rob. You can turn off. Let me just check the chat again. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate your giving your time up this morning, and have a great week.